Science Made Simple with Mr. Sanni.
I welcome you all to this online class. I'm going to teach you on physics. Physics is one of the core subjects for science students. When I say physics is the relationship between motion, matters, and energy. Before I go further, let me start with measurement. Measurement is an important topic in physics. We do carry out measurement in our everyday life activities. Without measurement, we cannot conclude in a fact or law in physics. That means we have to carry out measurement before we can say this thing is a fact or law in physics. From the word measurement, that means we have to measure something. We need measuring instrument. We need to measure the quantities before we arrive at the final answer. So what are we measuring? Then how do we put the result of the measurement? So in measurement, before we go into the instrument, in measurement, we want to write the result of our measurement. We write it in such a way that we combine the numerical numbers and the unit. These numerical numbers is the quantity of that measurement, while the unit is telling us the particular quantity we are measuring, the particular physical quantity we are measuring. For instance, we say 10 hours. From this, we know that we are measuring time because the hour here is indicating the time, and we are all used with the word hour in our everyday. This 10 is telling us the quantity or the magnitude of the time. That's why we have 10 hours. If I say 10 meter, we have the same 10, but the hour here is indicating time, while the meter here is indicating distance. So another one is I say 10 kilogram. 10 kilogram is telling us that we are measuring a quantity that is mass. So from the three example, you have 10, 10, 10. 10, 10, 10 means the magnitude or the quantity of that physical quantity, while the hour here is the unit. This one are the unit. So here we have hour as the unit for time, while we have meter as the unit for length, and kilogram as the unit of mass. These three physical quantity, they are the most common physical quantity in our daily activities. There's no way you can do it without it. So these three basic quantity, we call it fundamental quantities. These fundamental quantities are the foundation quantity or basic quantity. We used to say the basic need of life are food, water, and shelter. The same thing, the basic need for our quantity are time, length, and mass. They are basic, they are foundation unit. They are independent unit, while other physical quantity depends on this one, but these three are independent unit. Time. When we say time, we are all familiar with time. Every time we do shout time. My time is going, my time is up, everything like that. Time is defined as duration of an event. Duration of an event. That is, time is telling us how fast or slow an event is. If an event is 10 seconds, we compare it with an event of 10 hours. Definitely we know that 10-hour event is longer than that of 10 seconds. So that is time. Time, we can measure time. The instrument that we use to measure time, we have our wristwatch, wall clock, pendulum clock, stopwatch, everything like that. But the unit for measuring time, that is, these are what we see that will tell us what you are measuring is time. what identify times? You see seconds, minutes, hours, day, week, month, and year. All these things are telling us time. 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years. Everything is about time. Like I said earlier on, time, length, and mass, they are fundamental units. Time is telling us the duration of an event. So, and these are the units for measuring time. You can measure time in seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, month, and 10. For instance, say 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years, and all these are measuring time. But among all these units, we have what is called SI unit, System International. This is the unit that is universally accepted by all scientists that our time should be expressed. So this unit, for time, we have our SI unit. To be SI unit for time is seconds. That whatever we get in time, we must be able to convert it to seconds to make it SI unit. And don't forget, the instrument used to measure time are clock, a stopwatch, wristwatch, wall clock, and so on and so forth. So now length is telling us the space of the distance between two particular points, the extent of a space. That is, it's telling us how far or near an object is to a particular reference point. If you have a point like this now, so the distance between this point and another point is what we call length. So this one reference point, this is another reference point. So time is telling us about how far or near an object is. Telling far or near. So for instance, this way used to measure time. We have tape rule, meter ruler, and so on and so forth. So the unit for time, they are decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, and meter. Millimeter, decimeter, meter. Among all these four units, we have meter to be the SI unit for length. We can now move to the other one, which is mass. Mass is the measuring of the quantity of matter in an object. That is, it's telling you how heavy or light an object is, how heavy or light an object is the quantity of matter. So the instrument used for measuring time, we can use chemical balance, spin balance, and so on and so forth. The units for mass, they are gram, milligram, kilogram, and others. Among all these units, we have kilogram as the standard unit for time. So apart from all these three fundamental quantities, we also have other like electric current. This electric current is measured by ammeter. The unit for electric current is ampere. We also have temperature. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. The instrument used to measure temperature is thermometer. The unit for temperature we have degree Fahrenheit, degree centigrade, degree Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. Among all these units, we have Kelvin to be the standard, the SI unit for measurement. So the second part of the unit is derived unit. You know, I told you earlier that we have two types of units. We have the fundamental unit and the derived unit. Derived unit, they are dependent unit. That is, they depend on fundamental unit for their derivation. That's why we call it. They can't stand alone. They depend on the fundamental unit For instance now, we have speed. Speed from definition is the rate of change of distance with time. Don't forget, both distance and time, they are fundamental units, and the definition of speed depend on distance and time. So the unit for distance, let me go with the standard unit. Unit for distance is meter, while the unit for time is seconds. From here we can see that the unit for speed is meter all over s, meter per second, or we say meter per second. This one is representing the division line here. So we also have area. Area is what? From going by the definition, we have area to be length times breadth. You look at it very well. We have a rectangular shape like this. The longer side is length, while the smaller side is the breadth. So length by breadth, you know, this is measuring of distance from here to here. Measuring of distance from here to here. And length is measured, since it's distance in meter, while breadth is also measured in meter. So we can say meter times meter. The unit will now be meter square. The same thing to volume. That is length times breadth times height. Meter times meter times meter, making meters cube. So we also have density. Density is mass per volume. Mass per volume. Another basic fundamental quantity that I mentioned in my last lesson is length. No, I told you that length is the extent of space between two particular reference points. Now, length of a body is telling us how far or near an object is. For measuring length, we can use our tape rule, meter rule, and so on and so forth. We have different units for length. We have decimeter, millimeter, centimeter, and meter. Among these units, meter is the SI unit for length. That is, we must be able to convert all our answer in all other units to meter before we can say the answer is in standard unit. And in physics, it's better for us to work with standard units, or maybe we convert our answer to standard unit. At the end of our answer, there must be unit. If you just write the magnitude only without unit, it will not be accepted for you. It will be wrong for you. So let's say 10 centimeter. We want to convert 10 centimeter to meter. We all know in our elementary mathematics that 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. Again, 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So to convert 10 centimeter now, it will be 10 centimeter will be S meter. S is the unknown. We now cross multiply. Fine. So it will now be 100 times S is equal to 10 times 1. That is 100 S is equal to 10. Our S will now be 10 over 100. That is 0.1 meter. Can you get that? So you cross multiply, you make S the subject of the formula. That is to say, our 10 centimeter, same thing as saying 0.1 meter. We also have what is called kilometer. Kilometer is another unit. We can say kilometer. Now making 5. So for kilometer now, we can say, for instance now, we have 1,000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So if you are giving 5 kilometer, how do you get 5 kilometer in meter? You know, I told you that we must convert all our answer to the standard unit, which is meter. So it will not be, since you know from the basic elementary math that 1,000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. That means our S meter is equal to 5 kilometer. As we did for the other one, can now cross multiply again. That will be S times 1 will now be 1000 times 5. Our S will now be 5000 meter. That's the answer. That is to say, our 5 kilometer is the same thing as 5000 meter. Unit or fundamental unit that we want to talk about is mass. Mass, from definition, mass of a body is a quantity of matter in the body. The mass of a body tells us how heavy or light an object is. The instrument used for measuring mass of a body are spin balance, chemical balance, lever balance. So the unit for mass, we have gram, milligram, kilogram, and so on. Among all these units, kilogram is the standard unit. That is to say, we need to convert all our answer from gram or milligram to kilogram before it can be called standard unit. So now, let's say we are given 100 gram. 100 gram. To convert 100 gram to kilogram, we have to convert from gram to kilogram. And from our previous knowledge, we know that 1000 gram is equal to 1 kilogram. 1000 gram is equal to 1 kilogram. And we are giving 100 gram to kilogram. Let's say we are converting 100 gram to S kilograms. So let me write it. 100 gram to S kilogram. We want to know the value of 100 gram now in kilogram. So we cross multiply. So that one give us 1000 times X is equal to 100 times 1. This times this times this. So you follow the line. This will be 1000 S is equal to 100. You divide both sides by 1000. This one will be S will now be 100 all over 1000. This will give us 0.1 kilogram. That is our 100 gram is 0.1 kilogram. In the previous lesson, I told you about time. That we have time is fundamental unit, fundamental quantity rather. So we have different units for measuring time. That is, immediately you remember all these units, you know that we are measuring time. Let's say we are saying 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on. All these are units for time. That's it. For time we have seconds, minutes, hours, days, etc. And I also told you about SI unit. That is the SI unit for time is seconds. Therefore, since seconds is the SI unit for time, that means for us to convert all other units to seconds before it can be internationally accepted. So in our daily activities, let's say we have 5 minutes. How do we convert from minutes to seconds, from hours to seconds, from days to seconds? Don't forget our usual timetable that we say 60 seconds make 1 minute, 60 minutes make 1 hour, 24 hours make 1 day, and so on. I think you can all remember that. So since we have that 60 seconds make 1 minute, we all know that 60 seconds make 1 minute. For instance, if our measurement is 2 minutes, how do we convert 2 minutes to seconds? 2 minutes. We want to convert 2 minutes to seconds. This is the step. Since we know that 60 seconds will give us 1 minute, then x is x seconds is equal to 2 minutes. That is, our x here is unknown. We want to find the value for x. If you arrange the thing like this, you can easily cross multiply. Remember your math very well. So if you cross multiply, you have it that s times 1 is equal to 60 times 2. This one will give us s is equal to 120. That is our s. Now will be 120 seconds. 120 seconds. Sorry. 120 seconds. Can you get that one? Another one, let's say 10 hours to seconds. 10 hours to seconds. You know that 60 minutes, 60 seconds make 1 minute. So, pardon. 60 seconds make 1 and 60 seconds make 1 minute. Abi, the same thing as saying 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Abi, for 1 hour, that is 60 minutes. Abi, 60 times 1, that's 60 minutes, is equal to 60 times 60 seconds. That is, for 1 minute, for 60 minutes now, we have 3,600 seconds. The same thing for 60 minutes, for 24 hours, we have 60 minutes to be equal to 1 hour. Abi? Now, 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. You know that. 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Now, 24 hours make 1 day. That means it's going to be 60 minutes here times 24. That is for 1 day. That will be 3,600 times 24 for 1 day. So, but we are going for 10 hours, just 10 hours, sorry, instead of 24 hours. We are going for 10 hours, not a day. So it's going to be 10 here, 10 here. So I thought a day. 10 here, 10 here. So that means 600 minutes is equal to 3,600 seconds. This 600 minutes is 10 hours, which is equal to 3,600. But another other way, we can simply say that 60 minutes make 60 seconds make 1 minute. Abi, how many seconds make 1 hour? That's 60 minutes, because 60 seconds make 1 minute. For 1 hour, that be 60 minutes. Abi, that be for 60 minutes now. How many? That 60 minutes is what you can cross multiply it. See, our s times 1 is equal to 3,600 seconds. Abi, that is just for 1 hour. For 10 hours now, that's going to be this one times 10. That be 10 s times 3,600 times 10. We are going to get 3,600 seconds. 36,000. The same thing with this one. So I think you understand that. So you can